Hi everyone, this is Jewel Diamond Taylor. You know I love to be on the road and finding fascinating people with intriguing stories and interesting purposes in life. And I'm here with a young man that I met sometime before. He spoke at my Black Authors Who Rock, and he's here today at my sister Joy Lewis's 411 Cafe Networking Mixer here in Southern California at the Doubletree Hotel. He always has this wonderful book with him. It is Always and Forever Love. This is by Otis Sanders, and I want to welcome you today, Otis. Thank you so much.
For having me.
I always enjoy being in your company. And just for those that don't know you, can you tell them why you decided to write such a unique book about love and couples and marriage?
Well, it started years ago when I was married the first time. My first marriage ended rather quickly, and I was, of course, in this marriage because I thought it was going to be always and forever.
Always and forever, yeah.
And it didn't, of course. So it left me with a question, and that question was, what does it take to have a long-standing, successful, happy marriage?
How often do we ask, what does it take to have a happy, long-standing marriage? So that is the quest. That's the reason why you began to do the research.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I gather that you interviewed other couples?
Yes, there were, in this book, there was 50 couples, all African Americans that have been married anywhere from 20 years all the way up to 75 years. And I wanted to get their story to see what they were doing because I didn't think I was that different from most people. So I wanted to see what they were able to do and kind of gauge myself from that and be able to move on. So when I get married again, which I did, then it could be a lasting marriage.
So from 20 years to 75 years. Was there any similarity, a running theme in these marriages that created a long-lasting, stable foundation in their marriage?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think most of the couples in the book are spiritually, religiously based. And that was one of the first things. And then, of course, you have the love, the trust, and respect and forgiveness and that kind of thing. And that went a long ways with most of the couples. Because the themes are pretty much similar when you actually give it someone that you love and you want to spend the remainder of your life with.
So you found that they had similar interests, their faith was their foundation, and an interesting word you said was forgiveness.
Yes.
You know what I find, Otis, today? A lot of people give up quickly on their relationships.
Yes.
They haven't mastered this sense of, I don't want to say compromise, but learning the 5 languages of love, learning how to forgive and move on, learning how to pray together. I've been married 48 years, and it took us quite a while to figure out some of these stumbling blocks of, building communication and building trust. So I'm really grateful to you that you are providing us with a book that gives us a template, that gives us examples, so that we don't become discouraged and give up on the idea of marriage.
Yes. Well, I think the important thing with you and your husband, you said it took a while.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that you didn't stop, you didn't give up, you didn't get a divorce. You stuck with it because that's the person you want to be.
Well, I slept downstairs sometimes.
But you're still together.
He slept downstairs sometimes.
Well, you have to do what it takes.
Yeah. And so, but neither one of us left.
Exactly.
You had to work through the messiness, work through the miscommunication, work through the anger, work through issues where you just totally felt betrayed or hurt or unappreciated, or you weren't getting the attention you wanted, or you couldn't agree on parenting, or you couldn't agree on finances. I've often said that the 3 books that keep a marriage strong are the cookbook, the checkbook, and the good book.
Yes.
And so I have not actually, I have the book, I'm gonna be honest, I have not actually taken the time to read through it, but I'm really gonna do it because not only do I want it for myself and for my son, but I want it for myself. And I want to be able to add it to my toolbox as I interact with other couples.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you where the book is in your home. Where is it in your home?
In my living room.
Okay. Because it's actually a tabletop photography book. It happens to have the subject of marriage.
So was your first love photography?
Yes.
And so then you complemented your skill for photography with the stories.
Yes, well, I've always wanted to do a book.
Oh, you did?
I've done 3 now, but I've
done
always wanted to do 1 book. But I didn't have that fictional story where I could do this great story. So I decided to add photography with it, tell the story from that point of view.
Now, is your marriage in here?
Yes, it is.
Oh, which one is which page are you on?
I actually don't know. We're in the first.
You're in the
Now,
first?
also, this book is, I have 8 couples in here that are actually married, got married from meeting online.
Oh, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that happens.
Now, wasn't that your story too?
Yes. That is
Yeah,
my
that's
story.
what I remember when you spoke at my Black Authors Who Rock, that you met your wife through the internet.
Yes, through the
Isn't that,
internet.
and so there is some success stories. Okay.
Yes.
Let's see.
16, well, I think we're back here. Actually, I don't know where we are. Here we are.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay. They are from Inglewood, California, and we're right here in Southern California. So, but I can imagine this would be such a great tool for ministry, for counseling, for coaching. Can you tell me one story in here that really was impressive to you, or the story that just stands out in your mind?
Well, that would be the very last story.
The very last story?
The Jameses.
Okay.
He was 102 when I interviewed him.
Wow.
His wife was 99 at the time. And I was talking to him about their marriage.
What?
All the way
Were
to
they
that.
the one that been married 75 years?
Yes. Right.
Look at that.
Yes. Now, it was very interesting in that he was like old, but he was still in all his great mind.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, well, what about this marriage thing? He said, well, I don't remember a lot about the marriage, but I figured I wanted to be with her, she wanted to be with me, and that's what we've done these 75 years. And the one thing he said to me, well, in the book, and I wrote it, of course, it says, just treat each other right.
Treat each other right. Just
It's
basic
really
common
that
sense.
simple,
Yes.
but we miss out on that when
Yeah.
things go on and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. What do you contribute a lot to the demise of marriage? Do you think it's technology? Do you think it's social media? Do you think it's not dating long enough, not asking the right questions? What do you think is contributing to
Well,
the breakup of the family structure?
I think it's some of all of that. But the first thing I think is sometimes people get together, they don't spend enough time getting to know each other.
Yeah.
What you want as opposed to what I want.
I think
what we
sometimes they
want
don't even know what
together.
they want.
Exactly. But
You
see,
know?
we don't have a real good sense of ourselves in the first place, I don't
Exactly.
think.
Exactly.
So if you go into a marriage thinking that, oh, well, I need to have this kind of house, this kind of car, and this and that, and you're not willing to work and wait to get all these things, and you want it right away, that's some people right there. Because a lot of times people don't get what they want right away. They figure they can go someplace else and get it, or do it better on their own.
Got you. Now let's switch over to your hat of being an author. What would you say to my audience about actually writing their book? What were some of the challenges you had to deal with? Were there any challenges, things that you had to work through to actually produce your first book?
Yes. Everything.
Is it self-published?
It's self-published.
It's self-published.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in this book I have couples from different states,
Oh, okay.
which means I had to travel to these states, I had
Okay.
to photograph them, interview them. It took a little while, but it's something I wanted to do. And this wasn't actually going to be my first book.
Okay.
Well, actually it's my second book, but even when I did the first book, it wasn't going to be the first book. The first 2 or 3 books crashed and burned for various reasons.
Okay.
But it's something I wanted to do since I was a kid.
What did
so
you
I
learn
loved
from
it.
those first 2 books that crashed and burned? What did you learn from that?
You have to keep going.
You gotta keep going.
You got to keep going. You can't stop.
Yeah, and you were willing to make an investment. You had to travel. You didn't have a publishing house
No.
to give you an advance.
Well, with technology now, I mean, we're going to Facebook, YouTube, and all
Yes,
that
yes.
at the snap of a finger.
Yes.
So you can do whatever you want to now. You don't have to have a publisher.
That's right.
You don't have to have an agent. You can get your own printing company. You can do everything you want. You just have to want to do it and spend the time to actually do it, because it does take a minute.
So, is this something you do full time, or you have another stream of income, another life that you're doing besides marketing your book?
Yes, unfortunately, I do have a job.
Okay.
I
So
know.
this is your JOY, but you got a JOB.
Exactly.
And
So
what is
that
your
I can
JOB?
I am a professional photographer with the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So, are you photographing crime scenes?
No, we
Or
don't
what?
go out to the crime scene.
Oh, you don't go to
No,
the
we
crime
don't go to
scene?
crime scene.
I'm trying to get something really juicy here. So what are you taking of the staff, the people, the events?
Well, anything that the sheriff department needs, we actually train or teach the people that go out to the crime scenes.
Oh, I
And
see.
when they actually bring their images back, we see them and do whatever we need to do.
No, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. So, is this a career track that you chose, or did you just kind of fall into it? Because sometimes we choose a career, and sometimes we just by circumstance we end up doing that. Was this something you chose?
Yes. Well, I chose to be a photographer.
Okay.
And I started photography when I was 12 years old. And this is the path that it has led me to. So it's been a beautiful thing. I started photography, and of course in the early days, people didn't know anything about photography. Oh, you need to put that camera down and go get you a real job, and all that good stuff, but it's something that I wanted to do.
Well, I just have one last question before
Yes.
we close. You know, with the advancing of technology with the cameras in our phone, are you still in love with the millimeter phones? I mean, cameras?
The real cameras?
The
Yes.
real cameras?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't like the cameras in the phone?
I don't use them unless I have to,
unless
because
you
I
have-
always have a camera.
So if you were to buy a real camera, what would you suggest? What, are you loyal to a particular brand?
No, not necessarily. It actually depends on what you want to do,
Okay.
how much money you want to spend, and how often you're going to use it. Because if you're not going to do very much with it, use your camera phone.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I know that my audience is intrigued by this, by your book, Always and Forever Love. And we have couples from 20 years of marriage to 75 years of marriage. And I'm sitting with the author, Otis Sanders. And I know you want to get a copy of this book. I know there may be some study groups, some ministry groups, some counseling groups, or just couples that are about to get married, or couples that are about to break up, or couples that are just celebrating love that would love to have this, or give it as a gift. What a great wedding gift. What a great birthday gift. Otis, let them know where they can get your book.
I have a store on Amazon, and you can go to Amazon.com and type in my name, Otis G. Sanders, or Seven Sun Productions is the name of the store. And of course, well, that's the best place to do it. I'd take PayPal, all that good stuff. So
I'm curious, Seven Sun Productions. What's the history behind that name?
I am the seventh son.
Oh, I love that. I'm so curious. I love it. There's a reason for everything. So
Yes.
when you say seven sons, is it the number seven, or is it spelled out?
The number 7.
Okay, the number 7
TH,
sons.
the number 7 THSON Productions. Or just type in my name on Amazon, Otis G. Sanders.
Standards. Okay. Thank you so much. This was so enlightening. I wish
Well,
you
thank you.
continued success.
Thank you.
Didn't you love this? Make sure you go to the YouTube and put in Jewel Diamond Taylor so that you can watch my channel and see all the other interviews that I'm doing. Rather, they are interviews. So I invite you to go there. And also, be sure to check out my website, jeweldiamondtaylor.com. And if you'd like me to highlight your business, if you'd like to share your story of resiliency, call me, email me, check me out on Facebook, and I'd love to sit down with you and have a wonderful chat and a wonderful interview. God bless you, and stay in the light.